there. I actually have no idea what day this is in our series. I'll have to check back. But I put on this t-shirt because I wanted to talk about breath and to just breathe. So Winston and I had an incident yesterday walking, and Winston is wonderful with people. But he gets very excited around other dogs. He's a rescue, and so we're not quite sure what happened to him, especially if he's on the leash. So I went for a walk taking Winston, and purposely went after I thought everybody else would have gone for a walk. It was almost dark. It was getting to be dusk. And but of course the universe, or I just discovered Gus. God, universe, or spirit wanted to give me the opportunity to learn something. So along comes this little puppy with this young man, and they were farther away. So Winston and I stopped, and he got all excited. But I was able to help him chill, and I think part of it was allowing myself to chill a little bit. And then as the boy and the puppy would walk, we would follow, but keeping a distance. And then they turned around and went back to the house, so we backed up a little bit, just allowing space, so Winston could remain more in control, using maybe his frontal lobe instead of his fight, flight, or freeze kind of thing. And I thought, score, we did it. We didn't have an incident. We didn't, it all went well. So then we went walking a little bit farther, and we're heading home, and all of a sudden, out of another yard, a dog comes barreling down and about Winston's size. And the woman's hollering, he's friendly, and I thought, oh, that's great, but I've got this dog on the leash that I'm not quite sure, he gets so excited. And so I had him sit and stay. And I even tried to provide some space between Winston and this other dog, thought that maybe I could be this in between. But of course, the dog, the interjection, no, the outside stimuli wanted to come in really badly. And so the woman's, hollering, I'm sorry, and all of that. And then she came and got him, and it was fine. And Winston got all excited, and his little feathers got up on the back of his neck because he was excited. But we were good. There was a little but nothing out of the extraordinary. So we come home, and of course I got home and I Googled what to do when a dog comes barreling out of a yard and your dog is on leash. And it was interesting. It said to remain calm, and which I tried to do. And then it also said that you should just continue walking, not running, because then the dogs get excited, but just continue walking as if perhaps the dog wasn't there, and trying to get the attention for your dog to something else. If you happen to have a treat or a noisy toy or something like that, which unfortunately I didn't have. And then if that doesn't work, just getting the dog to sit and stay. And so that's what I went for. And I was thinking maybe it had to do with the mindfulness, that my sit and stay and breathe was what I was after for Winston. So when I was thinking about what I wanted to do this morning, I was thinking how much like those dogs coming into Winston's peripheral vision, getting him excited, but if they stayed a distance, he was able to maintain some composure, and how often that kind of thing happens to us, that if we can look at stimuli as something that's happening clearly, but provide enough space and a little bit of breath, and then allow that intrusion to just walk by or get gathered up by something else and just disappear. Because any thought or emotion only lasts, I think they say, 60 seconds. So it's sort of like tapping a balloon. If you keep tapping it, it's going to keep rolling around up there. But if we just let it fall to the floor, it just disappears. So with that in mind, if you can find a way to get comfortable and find yourself really inhabiting your body. And so what I mean by that is grounding, you know, so feeling whatever surface your body is resting upon, and noticing perhaps the weight of your hands on your lap or on the bed or the mat. And then placing your body in a way, especially if you're sitting up, that your spine is aligned. So I have a tendency to keep my chin up, all those years of dance class, I guess, but keeping your chin down, just tucked in a little bit, it allows the spine to be a little bit better in alignment. And then next for me is always to recognize the breath, wherever it is. Perhaps taking a deep breath in that's comfortable for you, and then holding it for a moment, feeling that fullness in the chest. And then just letting it go slowly through the lips. Again, taking a breath in, resting in that fullness of breath, and then allowing for the exhale. Next for me, I usually notice senses, especially if I'm sitting outside like I am now, so I can hear the birds. I can feel the breeze blowing on my arms. And before long, the monkey mind is off doing something else. And so what I'd like for us to do in this short meditation is just to notice the thought, or notice the feeling, or notice the sensation, and asking it to sit and stay, and we recognize it, but then that little dog or that emotion or that thought just walks on by if we let it. And then coming back again to the breath. Or sensations. Anything you can experience by your senses. So really feeling the sensations of breathing. The fullness of the chest on the inhale. And then the falling back on the exhale. Breathing in, just knowing you're breathing in, and then breathing out, knowing you're breathing out. And now envisioning someone that is your tether, your anchor, your person, your being, that makes you just feel grounded a little bit more and a little bit more confident in your abilities. And perhaps inviting them to sit here right on your right side. And if today's a particularly stressful day, perhaps even inviting more people. I have 3 aunts that sit on my right, my left, and have my back, and then my grandmother. So these are 4 sisters that I feel is one way that I can feel fully grounded and fully loved and fully appreciated. So we're really trying to tap into that. And then feeling what that feels like. And then imagining a stressor. So for Winston, it was the dog walking by, and actually for me, it was the dog walking by. And if I can be flanked by these 4 strong women, or if you can have a strong, confident being that is your support along your side, and maybe even they put their hand on your back and they say to you, let me help you with this one. You stay here and I'll go manage this. And we watch. And this giving us a little bit of space between what's going on and how we're going to respond and hopefully not react. And with the help of that person, we're able to recognize the stressor, perhaps recognize in the body what it feels like. Is it tightness in the chest or throat or perhaps the tummy? And just allowing that to be there. No need to rush it off or have it disappear. These feelings just want to be recognized and acknowledged. And then this being, or maybe even our higher self. So I talk about the higher self being above my head is where I feel it. Other people I've heard feel it in their core. So tapping into that higher self or that core being, sometimes referred to as a Buddha self or a God sense or a universe sense. It's just that little bit of backup. And allowing yourself to see the situation unfold as if it's maybe 10 feet or 20 feet or however far it needs to be, so that the anxiety that you're feeling dissipates a little bit and certainly comes below a 5. And if we can get it down to a 2 or a 3. So sometimes people will even project to the image that's stressful up on a movie screen, and then they move to the back of the theater and watching it unfold. And as the thoughts come in about doubt or fear, we just acknowledge the fear and know that that's a trigger, that it wants to have us stay stuck. And it's such an opportunity to be a springing board, and it's an opportunity that, oh, here's a chance to learn something. So can I go from fear or anxiety to, this is an opportunity. It's a springing board. I'm going to learn something. And then how does that feel in the body? And when you've played out that situation, how you wish it would have gone, had you had a little space, can you have the ability to provide love and nurturing? And what I do is I put my hand on my heart, or even sometimes 2 hands on my heart, it seems necessary, to forgive yourself for if you didn't respond the way you wish you would have responded. And acknowledging that we learn, and hopefully we just do better each time. Accepting ourselves for where we are right now and our skills, and knowing we're worthy and we're so important. And loving yourself so that enough to give yourself the grace that next time Winston has a buddy come up, or you have a discussion with a friend or a partner that doesn't go the way you want it to go, that perhaps you can take this breath and call on your support system to give you that wisdom, that higher self. And then lastly, can you invite that higher self, or that being that has been helping you, can you allow them to merge with who you are in this moment, so that you become one with that higher power, that knowing self, that a little bit more educated self, giving self. And when you provide that grace for yourself, feeling how that feels, does that allow for a little bit more spaciousness in the chest? Does it allow the belly to relax just a little bit more? And if it doesn't, that's okay. Practice makes better. I had a college professor that was his favorite thing to say. And then he would write DB on the chalkboard because those were his initials. So DB, thank you for the practice makes better, and giving ourselves the grace to learn how to do that. Looking at fear or anxiety or the urge to be reactive as an opportunity for growth. Taking one more breath in, letting it go, allowing the eyes to open if they're not open already, and congratulating yourself, because I think if you're following the 21 days, we're past middle, which is great. So thank you for your attention, and I really hope this is helpful. And if this has been helpful at all, or you have any comments or things that you want me to touch on or elaborate, questions, just put them in the message underneath. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you. Namaste.